Hello, good morning, beautiful people. How are you guys doing this morning? It's a pleasure to be here once again with you, and I hope that you're doing your journaling. I hope that you're setting your intentions. And this morning, we got such a beautiful returning guest who is no stranger to the community, Dr. Terrence Johnson. And we just want to welcome him back today because he's going to help us to understand Crossroads and how we could finish 2022 really strong. So grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your green juice, whatever. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this 1 hour show with us. I'm Karen Pascal, I'm a holistic health and wellness coach and a co-author of two ebooks with my sister Joan Williams. Welcome you guys to the show. Joan?
Hi, thank you so much. Happy Monday to all of you. Starting of a brand new week. I'm thinking about a lot of things because we know we almost coming to the closure or the conclusion of 2022. So we have a returning guest here today, Dr. Terrence Johnson. And when he come, he give us so much tremendous value. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good time of year for us to really set the tone, put those tools in our toolbox so we can really move forward with intention, with compassion, loving ourselves, and have great clarity in the direction we would like to move forward in. So, my name is Joan Williams, Holistic Health and Wellness Coach. Dr. Terrence Johnson, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Terrence.
Yeah, look, I was
We're
just
so happy to have you here with us, and thanks for saying yes.
yeah, no, like I said, this is my third time. I'm like, man, it's been that many times. but I know every time we get on, we have a great conversation, and like I said, y'all
Right.
energy is just great, and I just enjoy it every time I'm on. So yeah, I'm Terrence Johnson, the life excavator, and I was told I'll be talking about that more later on in the episode. So I'll do that. But um, but yeah, for me with Crossroads, it's something that's real personal for me, um, because I feel like I've been at crossroads in several instances in my life, but it's not necessarily a place. It's an internal feeling. It's almost like a pull, and it's like it's something that's pulling you to go in a different direction, but externally it might not match with your situation. It's like you
Yeah,
get
yeah, yes.
pulled and led to do something like, well, this doesn't make sense. I don't have the money for this. I don't have the education for this. I don't have the resources, the people, but you feel like this is what I need to do, but it's also attached to growth. And I think that's one thing that keeps people stuck. It's not that they don't want change, they don't want growth, and growth might not feel good, and it might require you to leave things, leave people, shift, but it gets you prepared for the next step. And I think that's important for people to think about, because it's not all about achievement. Because, like I said, all of us, we've achieved some great things, but that didn't necessarily fulfill us, though. And your crossroad is not really going towards success, it's going toward fulfillment. And that might not match up with what the external people might think is success, because it might be more about impact, it might be more about relationship or whatever, but it's all with you inside. So it's like you have to ask yourself the question and answer yourself. You can't seek somebody else and say, what you think about this? Because it won't resonate
Right.
with you, because it's not for them, it's for you, and it's for your path, and it might not align with everybody else's path because it's tailored for you, and you had to go through certain struggles and issues and situations, not to harm you, but it's for preparation. And it could be for the people that you're gonna help next, or to better position you, or to like prune some stuff off of you that you had from the past. So it's all preparation. It might not feel good, you might not enjoy it, but it's all for a purpose.
I like how you said that because I think sometimes we as humans, we always want to see it clearly
Hmm.
whilst we go through the struggle and don't really try to understand it, and it become very challenging for us. because we wrestle with that a little bit. But what you're saying is be patient with yourself because it's really bigger than you as an individual, what you're going through. And you're going through, if you want to say this metamorphosis, you're going through this change. And in the end, you become better than who you were before, not only for yourself, but people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we cope with people who don't understand that we're going through this change? How do you deal with that?
Well, I had a conversation with somebody about a year ago, and she's like a nutritionist, and she talking about, when you change your eating habits, like you might go vegan or something, people around you is like, well, why you doing this? Or like, are you too good to eat meat and all that kind of stuff? It's like, no, I'm doing this for me, but you have to realize that when you change things for yourself, other people might have a negative reaction to it because it's different, or it makes them feel a certain way about what they're doing. And it's not necessarily in your control, but you also have to be aware of it. So I think for most of us, we get excited about our changes and we want to tell everybody, look, this is what I'm doing. Oh, it's working. And we had to realize everybody might not be happy
That's true.
because they might not get it or understand it. And so that's one thing that can make people hit a wall when they make changes or they try and grow, is that they believe everybody will be excited and accepting of what they're doing the way that they are. And
Right.
that's not necessarily going to be the case. So it's like, can you move forward and grow even if the people around you might not fully embrace it at the beginning? Because they probably won't. And you had to be okay with it, because
True.
and I
True.
think you had to leave space and energy for that too. So you had the energy to
Mm-hmm.
grow and change, but you also had the energy too that everybody might not like this. So I gotta be ready for the negative
True.
comments, the energy that come towards me, because that's gonna come too. And I need
Right,
to be
right.
prepared for both. And I think that's what blindsides people a lot, because they so focused on the change that they don't understand like what will come with that change from other people.
That is so true that you said that, and to unpack that, because you have to be strong enough as an individual for when those negativity come your way, not to let that hinder you. But in a sense, you know that you're doing something for yourself and allow that to propel you forward and keep the negative. But you have to be prepared for that because
Mm-hmm.
that's the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Karen?
Yeah, that's absolutely true because I could speak for myself. When I was going through my period of change, I had to kind of like let people know that this is a period of time I'm taking for myself. It has nothing to do with them,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a period of time that I really need to take for myself because as I go through this metamorphosis state, I really needed to take that time away from everybody and just focus on me as an individual because I needed to make that change so I could be of service to humanity. And some of my friends did not understand what was happening, but it because a lot of times a lot of friends lean on myself and Joan for that moral support. But if we are not being fulfilled, how can we be of service to them? How could we give them the value that they need in their
Right.
lives? So what happened? I had to explain to them that this time is for me to really go deep within myself so I can uncover the true Karen, that I could uncover the purpose that I'm here for. And by doing that, when I emerged from that state, I was totally a different person. There are many friends that fall away, and it's quite okay. And there are some who are still around. But the ones them that fall away, some of them will go through that process and then they will understand the process that I went through, because each one of us go through, we wake up at different stages in life.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, when we wake up in that stage, when that time comes and we awake, we then truly understand what an other individual was saying to us when they were going through that state. So it's a beautiful thing to really go within yourself, stop listening to the noise, because people might say to you, but you don't have to do that. It's not their life, it's your life. And you got to focus on what is better for you, what is going to make you wake up, what is going to make you see life on a broader scale and see things differently. You got to focus on you. If it's coming to set boundaries, you got to do it, because remember, it's your life and you got to do it for you. It's very, very important.
Hmm.
That's beautifully said. That is
Yeah.
so beautifully said, Karen, because
Yeah,
as we continue to evolve and we make changes with our life, because life is about growth and expansion.
right.
That's how we develop. That's how we, as you rightly said, we uncover our true essential self, be our
Yeah.
best, live our best, show up in the world, being our best. And there is a lot of power in
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Tell us, how do we cope, Dr. Terrence, with, as we know, as we continue to evolve, growth and expansion, and friends fall away? How do we cope with that? Because sometimes we are so attached to our friendship, people we love, we care about, we grew up with. We did a lot of things together. But as we are growing and we moving and we're expanding, how do we deal with that and still maintain ourselves as an individual, not be, you know, sorry or whatever it is
Yeah.
about taking the next leap forward?
I
How do we
think,
deal with that?
yeah, I think while both of you were talking, especially when Karen was talking, what came to me was intent. And I think a lot of people don't focus on the intent of why they're making the changes and shifts. They might be reacting toward a certain situation, like, oh, well, I was treated badly, or I've been having all these different difficulties in my life. I'm just gonna like turn away from people. I don't want to be around people, and so that's a more like negative reaction towards things. But if you have a pure intent, it's like your change is always outside of yourself too. So it's like I'm better than myself, but I know
Hmm.
I have a greater good to do, and that's
Right.
why you should take this path. And I think it's easier, and not easy in the sense of the process, but you can handle the negativity when your intent is clear. Because you know why you're doing it is from an honest place. And it's not from a, oh, I'm trying to get back at you, or it's like retaliate and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, this is what I need to do to move forward and to continue to grow. But also, we could be hindering people too by thinking we have to continue to be in the role that we were in with them. Like we used to helping people so much, like people around us. Sometimes we're holding other people back because
Right.
we're teaching them to rely on us too much. And so it's
Hmm.
like me growing and moving forward is actually helping them grow and move forward too. And it might be on a different path, but that's how they can become more of themselves and trust themselves more. Because it's easy to be able to see what's going on with other people. They're like, hey, well, why don't you try this and why don't you do that? But then we had to take that same energy with ourselves and say, like, well, am I part of the problem too?
Hmm.
Am I
Yes.
a piece of this? And I need to take that with me because then that's something that I need to feel within myself that I don't have to always have to be doing for other people. But I feel good. And that could be a trap that we find ourselves in, especially those that we love to help and stuff. We have to be clear on our intent for help. So we might
Hmm.
just be helping to make ourselves feel good, not necessarily to help for the right intent.
Right. I like how you talk about the intent, to be intentional what you're doing, and you stay focused. And I think early in the conversation you talk about not asking people, because you as an individual knew you know what your desires are and what you'd like to achieve and how you'd like to evolve on your journey. So I guess do you always seek approval? You don't look to seek any approval from someone or a close friend. How do you handle that?
I mean, what I've learned to do now is certain people that might understand more about my journey because they might be in that same situation. So it's not necessarily for approval. It's almost like for perspective.
Right.
So I need to sit with it first and kind of see where I'm at, and then I might bounce them off somebody, not for approval, but just perspective. Like, am I seeing this right? Am I missing something? Is this a blind spot I'm missing? And so that's more of what it is. It's not for like, hey, what you think I should do? Is like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. What could be a different angle that I'm not seeing? And I think that's that's a healthy way to do it because at the end, you still gonna have to make the decision. They're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
make it for
Yes.
you. So, but it's like you just want to make sure you're not missing something. Or like I said before, it might be you might be a little bit more involved with the situation than you thought.
Hmm.
You might say, "Well, man, I'm feeling this way or this was going on." Like, yeah, but remember when you did this or said that? And so that's healthy to kind of get the different perspective. But I learned that everybody their perspective is the sum total of their experiences. So
Right.
I can't look for people to validate stuff in me that they haven't experienced. That's not fair to them because I'm trying to make them understand something that they have no touch point for. So if I'm reaching out to somebody, I need to know that they have this certain touch point with me
Sure.
so they understand that they might not understand fully, but they're like, okay, I know how that feels.
Right.
And I think that's what that can be frustrating because we want to share with people that's closer to us how we feel, but they might not have a frame of reference for what we want.
Sure. Sure. That is so true. How when we are fearful, when we are at the junction of the crossroad and you're trying to navigate between which way we're gonna do, what kind of role fear play in us sometimes?
What was the last part? I missed the
Fear,
last.
when we're afraid, fear.
Oh, fear.
That's always a big factor in us making a decision
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
we're leaning to go, in which direction, because we're here at this junction.
Hmm.
What do I do? Do I left, right?
Yeah. I, and I was thinking about that last night when I was trying to think about some stuff I was going to share today. And the crossroads you move when the pain of the situation you're in is is greater than the pain of leaving or moving forward. And you get to the point where it's like, if I stay any longer, I don't know what it's gonna do to me.
Right.
I think that causes you to move because it's not saying that you can't make a situation work. It's like you feel the version of you will be if you stay versus the unknown and uncertainty of the growth version of you. And I think that's really what the fear is. The fear is I'm gonna hurt anyway. Like it's gonna be painful in a way to go. And so like which pain do I choose? Do I choose the pain that I got accustomed to? Or do I go into this new pain that I don't even know what it will be
Right.
and be okay with it? And I think that's always the choice. Like it's almost like a band-aid. You got cut and you take the band-aid off and it kind of hurt. It's like, do I take the band-aid off slow or do I take it off fast? Either way it go, it's gonna hurt. So it's like I
Exactly.
gotta be okay with
So
whichever,
true.
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's gonna hurt anyway it go.
Right.
And, and I think that's what I learned for myself is that the pain is not necessarily bad. The pain is a lesson in itself. So like which lesson do I choose to learn.
Right.
Choose to learn the lesson of, growing through the pain, or do I take the lesson of, let me just keep enduring the same pain, and maybe I just kind of get numb to it, and it won't bother me anymore. But they
Right.
don't usually happen. It usually get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, yes, that's a great way how you explain it, because I think that is what sometimes hinder us from moving forward. Ourselves, we get in
Yeah,
the way of it.
yeah,
Go ahead,
and
Karen.
you know what normally happen to many of us is that we focus on the pain, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and when we focus on the pain, it becomes very difficult for us to really put that next foot forward, because just imagine something is hurting, and you're just focusing on that pain when that pain is going to be over. And because you put more focus on the pain than thinking about the healing process, really, that it's going to, telling yourself it's going to heal, because of that, you find that the true essence is being taken away, because you keep focusing on that pain,
Mm-hmm.
right, than focusing on the road ahead.
Right. That become part of the
Oh,
distraction. Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
The healing, of course, the healing is very painful. It's very hurtful, as rightfully that what Dr. Terrence just said. It's like taking off a bandit,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it doesn't matter if you pull it hard or you pull it easy. It's the same pain you're gonna feel. But you gotta take it off.
Right.
Hmm.
The bandit has to come off.
Right.
So it's it's focusing, what the focus is on at that period in time is very, very important. Dr. Torrance, what will you say to someone who is standing at this crossroad and they don't know which direction to go? They're very confused. What advice could you give to that individual?
Well, I would say, if you're at the fork in the road, could you live with not exploring the path that you feel led to?
Mm-hmm.
If you never went down that road and that path, could you get to the end of your life and like, I'm okay with how my life played out? And if you can, then that kind of gives you more of the answer. But if you can't, then that gives you an answer too. Because it's like, it'll be a regret that you have that you can't then address, because then you'll always have this kind of inner knowing that I kind of shortchanged myself.
Right.
I kind of live below my abilities, and can I live with that for the rest of my life?
Right.
And I think each time I've been at the crossroads, that's always been my place. Like, will I be okay not doing it? And I had to come to a point where it's like, okay, I need to go down this path. I might not know where it leads me, but what I understand with crossroads are always assignments. So it's like, if you're familiar with the hero's journey, it's basically like a hero's journey. So it's like you start off and you get an invitation to like this new world, but we usually reject it. So it's like, if you watch any kind of superhero movie or whatever like that, at the beginning it's always like they kind of got an ordinary life, and then something happens, and then somebody like, hey, you got these abilities, you got this, you can do this, and they're like, nope, I can't do that. I never did that before. Like, I can't fly, I can't do that. I never did that. But then it's an acceptance of like, okay, I need to do this. But
Right.
it doesn't mean that it's gonna be easy, but you become a different person. So like, as you follow their journey, it changes them into a new person that can then help in a better way, or to show up in the world a different way. And it's basically an invitation. That's what a crossroads is. It's an invitation for you for your next assignment. And either you can choose to accept it, or you can choose to It's like you don't see it. It's like somebody
Yes.
gives you a envelope like, hey, this is your next assignment. It's like, no, I didn't get anything in the mail. Like I didn't see it in the mailbox. But if you really take it on, it's like, okay, I might not know how I'm gonna do this. I might not even think I can qualify to do this. But something in me is telling me I need to do this.
Yeah.
And it's that journey, not the destination. I think for a lot of my life, I was always about the destination. Okay, I'm getting this degree, I'm getting this certification, I'm getting this, I'm moving up, I'm doing this kind of stuff in my career. And now I just want to be on the side. I just really, I'm really, really um aligned to that. Like whatever God really want me to do, I want to do that. It might not make sense to anybody else, but that's the only way I can continue to grow and to feel fulfilled for me. And it might not look like what other people are
Right.
accustomed to. It might not look like what I'm accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
I might not even want to do what I'm assigned to do. But is that decision like, okay, it's something in this that's for me, but also I'm assigned to some other people that's connected to this too. And I need to do this for me and for other people too.
Yeah. It's great that you incorporate your spirituality, that you can lead on, and that could be your guiding principle that help you to move forward. And as you share quite a bit, because you were on our show for more than one time, and you have shared that being spiritual as an individual, it really helped you. And talking about a crossroad, as you said, you got to reflect. Am I good where I am now? What is it going to be like when I'm 60, 70 years old if I'm still around? Would I be comfortable being here, or did I shortchange myself?
Mhm.
But your core principle and adding spirituality to everything has guided you, would you say?
Yeah. And it bring me back. Yeah, I was just listening to a song before I got on. Um, it's a Shekinah glory song, but it's what's the name of this song? Broken. And what it talks about is like doing what God wants you to do. But it's a line in there and it always stick with me. And she sings you like, I didn't know the price of yes would cost me so much. And like when I heard, I was like, oh, that's it. It's like doing
Hmm.
what God wants you to do
Yeah.
costs something. It's gonna cost. And that's what people don't realize. They're like, oh, I go to church, I do this kind of stuff or whatever. It's hard to, to really do what God wants you to do.
Hmm.
It's not easy. And he gonna get you out, push you out your comfort zone. You're gonna be doing
Yes.
stuff that you didn't think you're gonna be doing. But it's that's why he created you to do certain things. And it's for you to do. It's not for somebody else to do, it's for you to do
Right.
it.
True. True.
And it's like I I think that's how I found myself in a situation where it's like, how did I get here? Like, why am I why am I here? what,
Hmm.
what am
Yeah.
I doing? And you know, a lot of people they ask me, how did I get here where I'm at now in Gallatin? I was like, it was God. I was like, that's my only
Yes.
way. I like
Yes.
I'm living in a place I had no clue existed
Hmm.
before I came. Uh I really want to seek. I really was trying to just pass through here. I wasn't trying to stay. I was like, okay, I just need somewhere to go first, so I can just figure out where I'm gonna go next.
Right.
And like now, I'm kind of building community here, and so I got people that connect with me and really embrace me that I wouldn't have ever known about them had I not went on this journey.
Hmm.
And I can't say it's been the easiest journey. It had not been lying. It has been easy. It hasn't. But it's it's been growth for me. And like what y'all was saying before with um having people to rely on y'all and really seek y'all for guidance and advice and stuff. Out that was me. I was that person. to the point I'm like, I'm sick of people. Don't call me. I don't want to be around people.
Mhm.
I didn't want to take a break. And that's that's part of the reason why I needed to get away. It was like that time to reflect and to really deal with a lot of that stuff I hadn't dealt with while I was ripping and running and doing for people for so long. And now it's like I love to be around people now. And that wasn't the case. I could really take a leave for a while. I was like,
Right.
I just I don't want people energy. I just want to be left alone. But now I'm excited about being around people again.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
enjoy it because I don't feel like I'm always having to do something for people. I can just enjoy people and have conversations and stuff like that. And so I think that's been my growth point is like I can just be around people and be cool again. But yeah,
I guess that talk about your growth and expansion and your development and your evolve. You have evolved as an individual, as a person.
hmm
So you're in a different space in your life now
yeah,
that you
yeah,
could see things from a different perspective
yeah,
and enjoy what you're doing.
yeah,
And another thing too, it's very important what we say to ourselves in the process.
Of course, that
It,
really matters.
yeah, it's very, very important what we say to ourselves when we are going through this metamorphosis state. We really need to pay attention to our words, the things that we are repeating to ourselves, because as we know, the things that we keep repeating to ourselves every single day, that's the frequency we are putting ourselves on. That's the energy that we are attracting to ourselves.
Hmm.
So we need to always pay attention to the things that we keep repeating to ourselves. It is very, very important. Very important.
Of course, because that shape us, and as you rightly said, that's the energy we're attracting, and we are moving in that space.
yeah. And I think it's important to have people that can be some of those positive, like I guess tangible positive affirmation to ourselves because
Absolutely.
Right.
it's one thing to kind of say them to yourself, but it's also good to have other people that kind of see that light in you too, and they want to help you protect it because there's gonna
Right.
be a lot of people that's gonna try and take that light away or to dim it,
Right.
and so it's like that's why you kind of drawn to certain people because like oh it's like they got light and I got light and we just shine
Hmm.
together and
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like it feeds you, it gives you something, it kind of inspires you or motivates
Hmm.
you. We all need that. We need people that, um, and it's not for like I'm doing something for you, and so I'm helping
Right.
you.
Right. Right.
It's not that. It's like I appreciate what you're doing and like your light that you give it, and I want to make sure it keeps shining. And I think that's what I found. Like I was doing the work on myself, but you get to a point where you need that community and
Right.
your tribe. And so like I've been blessed to really find my tribe, and it's it was something I was looking for, but the way that it happened, it was just kind of organic. But it's like you meet one person, that person connects you to another person, and all that, and it's like you just kind of build these connections,
Yes.
and you just show up in different places, just like how I met both of you. I just showed up. I just, and where I showed up at somebody else's live, and
Right.
that got me connected to them, and I was on their platform, and then I think Joan was in the comment on mine, and then that's how we got connected, and I got
Yeah.
Karen through, and then and so like it just started this chain,
Right.
and you just never know. So
True.
what I've learned to do is just show up in different places and not have
Yes.
any expectations and just let stuff happen the way it happens. And that's so different than what I used to do. 'Cause I used to be really okay. I want to meet with this type of person. I need this person to connect the dot over here, and I need this resource. I need to connect this area, and I just don't do that now. It's just like
Right.
I just seek out people that doing. I'm really like a lifelong learner. So I'm really just seeking out other people that have great things to share. And I might just be watching it just for me. And I just comment and I'm not doing it for any reason, but just to connect or listen or whatever. And they're like, hey, I want to connect, or hey, I want to introduce you to somebody. I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting all that, but okay, I take I accept it. And
Yes.
that's been the beauty of it. It's just like when you just show up as you, wherever you are, people resonate with it. And that's often the reason why, like, I don't really go by like Dr. Johnson, Dr. Tan, like in my everyday life, because I don't want people to look at me in such a formal way all the time. I'm just another human, just like you a human, and we going through life on trying to figure this thing out. and
Yes.
and it's like I don't necessarily want to feel like I'm the expert in something. I just want to really present things in a real human way that people can get and understand, so they can see themselves. And because it's really not about me, all the experiences are just for me to share with other people that might be going through the same thing,
Right.
resonating with the same. So it's like that's the whole thing about why we go through things. It's not for us, it's for somebody else. But if we don't tell our story, then people won't understand that it's other people just like them
True.
going through the same
True.
thing. They just see us and they're like, oh, y'all successful, y'all doing these different things and whatever. I can't do that because I got all this stuff going on. Like, no, you can't, because we got stuff going on too.
True. Exactly.
And it take a lot for us to be present because we had to constantly work on ourselves to be present to share things to other people.
That's beautiful. That is so beautifully said because we all go through something, but then I think as you mentioned earlier is the quality of people that we surround ourselves with.
Yes.
That we all are shine that bright light to illuminate the world in different spaces, in different situations. And I think that is so important. And collaborating and networking, that's very powerful because, as you rightly said, when you surrender and allow it to flow and don't try to think and micromanage how the relationships are going to move forward, you get better results coming out of it because you become very intentional with what you're doing.
Mhm.
Absolutely right. I totally agree with Dr. Terrence and you, Joan, because we, as we go through life, we move into different spaces. You know, we're gonna meet different people because as we grow and as we are evolving, you're gonna go into different spaces all the time, and all that we need to do is to remain authentic and be true to ourselves. And as we move into these spaces, the people who we're going to meet in these spaces, some of them is just going to be for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are going to, as you move, some of them going to shift away from you, and it's quite okay.
Of course it is.
It's quite okay. And because we are growing and we are evolving, things will unfold differently all the time in our lives.
Of course.
It's going to
Absolutely.
unfold differently all the time in our lives. And we have to embrace change because we as humans, we find a problem with changes that is going to happen. We find a problem with changes, and we have to learn to embrace change because when a change is coming, it's trying to let you know that you're evolving into another space. So for that change to happen, something got to happen for you to evolve into that other space. That is how it works. But we always have a problem because we become so comfortable within one space, and we are afraid of the unknown. So we say, oh my God, this is happening now to me. Why me? You know, instead of saying, how can I learn from this situation? What is this situation trying to teach me? You know, where am I going with this? You know, how how can I use this to help someone else? So
Mm-hmm.
it's different things that happens when we're at that crossroads. It's so many things happen to us, but we just need to ask the question: where do we go from here? What is it? What can I learn from this experience? And ask the universe, the divine, whatever you believe in, to guide, give you that roadmap so you could move forward into the right direction.
That is so true. I think because sometimes we are very complacent. We feel comfortable. We don't want to shift anything. We don't want to move
Mhm.
anything around. But as the conversation has been going, is that for you to, what would you like your life to look like, as you said, Dr. Terrence, when you're 17, 80 years old, and living in regrets and didn't make that change and didn't make the shift when the opportunity arises? So that is what I think we have to think about and move forward and step into the unknown and be unafraid, don't let fear hinder you.
Yeah.
What would you tell us today? We're coming down to the ending of 2022, and we are thinking, when I say we are, everyone is thinking about, well, how do I finish strong? What 2022 was for me, and what do I want the ending days to complete look like? Am I struggling with my goals? I have so many goals that was not completed. What would you tell us so we can move into 23 feeling confident, showing ourselves grace and compassion? How do we do that?
And for me, I I believe we put a lot of energy into the new year, like starting over, starting new, and starting fresh, and jumpstart your new year and all that kind of stuff. We always got all this energy for the new year, and then
Yeah.
January comes and then hit us with stuff, and it's like, oh, I let go like 50 of the thing that I said I was gonna start on doing in January. So I would tell people that, you know, take time to reflect over what you did through
Yes.
this year.
Yeah,
Even I was going through my Google Calendar, I think last night, and we do so much and we don't even realize what all we
true.
did in the span of a year. And I think if we always looking for like the future, we forget what we've already done and the work we've already done. Because our growth might not look like growth because we haven't reached the destination we wanted. And so like we'll discount a lot of stuff we've already done that's been positive because it hasn't lined up to what we envision in our mind yet. And so I think that's one thing to do is like, well, what are the wins that you did have this year? And it might not be wins to other people but you. It might be a personal win. You might stop going and getting ice cream every day. You might do it on the weekend now. That's a win for you. It might not be a win for somebody else, but it could be a big thing for you. And so it's like I think it's taking time to celebrate yourself and not waiting
Yes.
for
That is so good.
big to happen or something that can be publicly seen to other people to then celebrate yourself. And I think we wait for this, like, oh, when I do this big thing, and then people see it, and then it's like, oh, I can feel
Hmm.
good about it. But it's so many things that we do, and I mean, it's stuff that we do during the day that are wins for us that might not be wins for other people. Like for me, I think if nothing else, this year I've learned how to tell my story in different ways, in different platforms, and different topics, and because I'm a real private person, and I think I'll share more about myself this than I have in a long time. And what I realized, just like with me being on here, and that's why I really appreciate being on different platforms and talking to different audiences of people because something I'm saying is for somebody, and I really take that seriously because it's like I'm not on here by accident. Uh, and so every time I get on and talk, I'm real specific of how I say certain things because there's certain people that need certain things I'm saying,
Right.
and I want to really leave space for that because it's not just about me just talking and just like, oh, this is what I'm doing and all that. It's not about me. It's
True.
like it's people that need to hear something, and it's something that I
Yes.
got to say, and I realized that yesterday we was at church and we was in Sunday school, and we were talking about, you know, I'll bless the Lord at all times. And they were like, the teacher was like, does anybody have a example of that? And I said, well, I said, a year ago, my dad passed. It was his funeral. I said, but even with loss, I gained my sister. And I kind of talked about that relationship with me and my sister now that we have. But I didn't know in the room it was like three, four, five other people that had lost their parents. So like the whole class turned into like a support group and people just going through their experiences. But it's like I just shared. I didn't know what was gonna happen after, sharing. I just shared from a real authentic place. But then it allowed other people to share. And and so that's why your story is important because you don't know who needs to hear that, so they can tell theirs or feel comfortable sharing what's going on with them. And I think that's why I do this. It's not because like, oh, I just want to be heard all the time. It's like I've gone through all these things for somebody, and I need to get it to whoever needs it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that is. I think that is where the magic is. Sharing our stories. There is so much power in that because, as you rightly said, you don't know who you're helping in the audience. Might need to hear that at that specific point in time. That can give them the courage and the confidence too that they can share their stories and give them the strength that they can move forward living.
Mhm.
I saw
Absolutely.
someone mention in the comments there about vision boards because as we move in towards the end of the year,
Okay. You want
someone
my
talk about that in the
yeah.
comments there.
So it's a it's a book that I came across years ago because I was a big planner. I would do like I would have categories of goals for the year. That's how I would do like in different areas of my life, and I had like 10, and I would try and check them all off by the end of the year. And then I came across this book called One Word, and basically it's like you have a theme word for the year, and that's your overarching kind of guiding principle for that year. So I don't think I did. Oh yeah, no, I did do one this year. This year my word was empower. That was my word for this year. I haven't chose my word yet for next year, but I'm pretty sure it'll come to me. But it helps to filter everything and not make it so like it's a long list. It's like I balance that out with what comes. So it's like, okay, this is my word. Okay, how am I? And so me speaking is empowerment. And so like, okay, that filters with what was coming to me. And I think that's a more grounded way to do it because you can kind of exhaust yourself doing so much stuff or like I need to have this done by the
Mhm.
year. And that I think that's how we beat ourselves up.
Right.
We get to the summertime like I didn't even to have the stuff I said I wanted to do.
Hmm.
But it gives you more grace and more space for what can come because there might be something that come that you didn't have. It wasn't a goal and it comes to you. And so I
Right.
think there leaves space for more positive things that way and more grace for yourself.
Yeah. It's great how you talk about celebrate your small wins. I think that is so important for all of us because, as you rightly said, we always look for the big things and that others can see, but more personally, on a personal level, celebrate that, what you have accomplished. Give gratitude for that because it can motivate you to move forward into a new space. And
Mhm,
when the big wins come, you do the same. That's powerful.
mhm,
Karen?
Yeah, many times things are happening for us, but we are not taking the time to recognize these little things that is happening for us. We are looking for the big things, but we need to pause and we need to recognize these small wins and celebrate them because it's very important for us to do that. When we could look at the small accomplishments, the baby steps that we make, you know, let's recognize them
Yeah.
because at least you made a step, you made one accomplishment. So recognize it, give yourself that gratitude that you have made that step forward from one point to a next point. And we really need to celebrate that.
Yeah,
It is so important.
you're better than the day before,
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
and you're
Absolutely.
looking forward to do better. That because I think that is your fuel, that's your drive, that's your motivation to move forward. Tell us a little bit about what the excavator is.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Who
yeah,
is the excavator?
Yeah, tell us about that.
yeah, well it started because after I kind of been in a transition of how I frame what I want to do with people. And for a long time, it was direct service things where I was a therapist or a professor or whatever. So, like, I had clients, I had students, I had a group of people that I was responsible for. And then it became, well, what's stopping me from doing the things I want to do, but also what stops other people from doing the thing they feel like called or led to do. And I started off as an architecture major, so building and sketching and all that kind of stuff and creativity, that's kind of me too. That's another piece of me. And I've always enjoyed, different things or nature, being outside. But if you think about excavation, that's more like archaeology. So you excavate things from the past to then bring awareness to it, to like get the history behind it and get the meaning. And so we all have things within us that have been buried that we might have forgot about because we were chasing, money or trying to move up the ladder, or things in our life happened and we, had to bury certain things about ourselves. But they still pull at us though. They still like speak to us. And so, like, for me, writing is something that I've done all my life, but I haven't really fully gave myself to it. It hasn't been my like title. I've done it, but I haven't been like a writer full time. And but that's a excavation point for me because it, y'all getting the echo. I'm kind of myself.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo somewhere.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is it better now? Okay, I think we're good
Yeah.
now. Okay. Okay. So that's something in me that could be beneficial to other people. So just like me telling my story verbally, me telling stories in a written form affects people as well. And so all these things within us help us bring meaning to ourselves, but also meaning to other people too. And so really excavation or life excavation is really just how do you find meaning through your life? And what did that look like for you? Because I mean, we could talk about purpose, but everybody doesn't resonate with purpose. But all of us are searching for the meaning in what's going on with us, what we've been through, and then where we're going. So it's either
Right.
like, how do I figure out where I'm going now, next? How can I find meaning in what happened to me in the past that was bad or I didn't like? But then also the ultimate question is like, what am I here for? What am I here on the earth to do? And I think that's the higher question that guides or gets us out of alignment. Because if we feel like we don't have a reason for being here, and we don't care about what we do, or we just treat ourselves any kind of way, or allow other people to treat us any kind of way, because like I don't have any value, because nobody cares if I'm here or not. But when you understand, like I do have a purpose, I do have a reason for being here, it brings everything else into alignment. Even though you might not understand it all the time, it helps to give you a certain frame. And I think that's how I want to move forward now. How do I help people find the meaning in their life and tell their story? in their own life. And I think that's the powerful thing because I've learned, like, I wish I would learn this early, like, all these degrees and all that kind of stuff, it don't really matter as much. It's not as much as you think it would. It's really about the story. People really connect with your story.
Yes.
They don't
Yes.
really care about the other stuff. Um, and your life informs how you talk and the passion about what you talk about. So no book or degree could get me to talk about the things I talk about. I've experienced them from life, and
True.
I'm sharing them through a lens that people can kind of grasp certain things. But I'm not telling you something out the book. I'm telling you life.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so great. And that is so great
Yeah.
what you do because you're really helping people, you're lifting people up, and they can bring what their story is out to the world in a beautiful way because you did it yourself. You're doing it all the time. And that is what is so special when you can help others to share their story and bring it to light. We give you your
Yes.
flowers.
Yep. 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 Yep.
I
Yep.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
Because
but people, go
you
ahead, go ahead.
go ahead, Terrence.
No, I didn't want to say, people are really amazing, and I don't think they understand that about themselves. And even the most difficult challenges that they've had, a lot of people couldn't have gone through what other people go through. So
True.
it's like that's why you have to share it because it's like the people that other people consider the least of us have the most to give to people because they've seen life in a way that most of us may have never experienced. It's a lot of wisdom in there, and I think we discount that because they don't look like what we think they should look like. They don't have this certain degree. They don't come from this certain family structure, whatever. So it's like, oh, I can't listen to them because they don't have this many followers and all this kind of stuff, and they might not look the way I think they should look. But their story is what's the most valuable thing. And so it's like I think that's what I always want to do with other people. I just want to like tell them how amazing they are. Like you doing great. Like you don't need to do as much to change yourself as you think. It's just embracing your story and really being good with all facets of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of it. So that's all I want to say. But Ken, you go ahead because I know you're gonna say something good. So I'll be quiet now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When we could really understand that the experiences that we go through every single day is just gearing us up for something else that is beautiful, and the experience may be very painful, but we need to go through that experience in order to grow. And that experience, it helps us to help someone else.
So true. So true.
Because the stories that our story that we are sharing, it is going to help someone else in this lifetime to really understand what they are going through. And when they go through their experience, they will be able to help someone else. It's a ripple effect happening every day.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm,
But of course, it is painful. It's a struggle. We all know that, you know. But when we look at the experience or the struggle and understand the meaning and why we have to go through it, there is where the beauty lies.
mhm,
Yeah. And just to put another layer in that is like when you might be going through something, but when you hear someone else's story that is so tumultuous on the struggles, you
True.
ask yourself the question, would I be able to live through that? Then you look at yourself,
Right.
what am I going through is no match to that.
mhm,
Because I,
Yes.
as an individual, might not have the strength and the wherewithal to really move through that story or whatever the individual is sharing.
mhm,
Yep.
So it's really good, but and one of the things that you mentioned early in the conversation, Dr. Terrence, is that sometimes people discount someone else because of who they look like, what is their status, But that person also haven't has got an important story to share with us.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
we discounting them don't make it better.
Right.
True.
Listening to them, we adding value to them. We said, I notice you, I see you, I hear you. And we doing something there for them as well. It's serving too, just by listening.
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when you've been accustomed to being a helper in that role, you listen to see how you can fix or insert yourself in the thing. And what I really learned to do now is like I'm more of an observer now, and I just kind of listen, but it's not listen to fix. It's like listen to like appreciate the story that's coming to me now. And I wasn't always like that. So a lot of times people don't really need our help.
Right.
sometimes we offer our help that's not needed, and then we get stressed out because we
True.
keep running for stuff that we inserted ourselves on, and they didn't need us to do that. Sometimes people
Right.
just want us to listen and be okay with that, and just to hear what they got to say.
Right.
And I think
So true.
that's been a learning experience for me because it's always like, okay, what you need me to do? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you need
Mm-hmm.
this. Like people can handle way more than what we give them credit
Mm-hmm.
when we
True.
give them
True.
space to do that. But we always trying to fix stuff. We don't
Mm-hmm.
allow them to get back on their feet to
Mm-hmm.
then be more independent and be more empowered. And I think that's when we don't want to be crutches for people. We want people to be able to stand, you know,
Yes.
and because we all have to do that. We have to do that for ourselves. Like we can't prop everybody up because then we'll fall. So it's like we had to learn that too. It's like what spaces, what things may need my energy, and then what things might need just for me to be an observer,
Mm-hmm.
and I might not need to insert myself, but just my presence might just be enough.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're so right because
So
there's
true.
so much we can do. And as when we went to school at IAN, one of the things they talk about listen with generosity
Yes.
because we're serving someone by just lending them our ears and also facilitating that space that they can feel it's a safe space, that they're comfortable, that they can share with you what
Yes.
they're going through. We don't have to fix anything. Just listen
Absolutely.
with generosity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is so true. Because when you could give that space and that listening ear to an individual, it really helped them to understand that there are people in this world that are willing to give them their time and listen to them. And it's a very authentic space,
Mm-hmm.
very confidential space that a person could sit and just unfold and unwrap, peel away those layers, and just be themselves.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It is.
It's a
It's very
gift.
beautiful. It is. And at this time, I just want to give gratitude out. First of all, I want to give gratitude to the divine because tomorrow is my birthday. And I really just want to give gratitude to the divine for giving me an awesome opportunity to be here, for giving me all the experiences that I needed to go through to be here. I am so grateful and I'm so thankful for those experiences. And without those experiences, I would not be Karen Pascal.
Yes.
I want to thank my sister Joan Williams for being my rock when I needed someone. I just want to thank her so much from the bottom of my heart. I really want to thank you, Joan, for being my rock, for being my support system when I needed that support. You was there for me. You guided me through and it helped me to be the person who I am today. I just want to thank you so much for doing that for me. I want to thank my husband for being there for me, for helping me through the times that I needed that help and that support, helping me to be me, to be the woman, to be the woman that I am today. I just want to thank him too. I want to thank my daughter for being my support system also, because she was there for me. She always said to me, "Mommy, it's going to be okay. Don't worry, it's going to be all right." So she was my support system also, and I really want to thank her for being there for me. And to Mr. Tom Thompson, I want to thank you so much for believing in me. I remember when you said to me that conversation, when you said to me, you said, "Karen, you got to start coming on the air. You got to start talking." I know I was very giggly at first, and you would say, "Oh, why are you giggling so much?" Right? But I just want to thank you, Tom Thompson, for believing in me and for bringing me out into this world that I could help so many other people. I want to thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. I want to thank Bookie also, because Bookie is a part of my journey also, and he have helped me too, because he have given me a space so I could be on the air and I could able to meet so many other beautiful people. I want to thank Staffy too, because Staffy is a part of my journey, and he always give me some advice. He said, "Karen, there are great things ahead for you. Don't worry, just be yourself." He always say those things to me, and I just want to thank Staffy also. I want to thank Christine Cavalier for being there for me too. She always said to me, "Karen, we got this," you know. And it's always good when you have people by your side who believe in you, who trust in you, and who know that you could do it. And the support system that we have every single day, it's very, very important for our lives. It's so important for our lives. And to all you viewers out there, it's so many names, numerous to mention, but I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time each and every day to join this show and to be a part of this audience. It means a lot to us. And thank you so much for doing it, because the feedback that you give to us, it helps us to be better for you. Each and every time that we do this show, it helps us to be better for you. It helps us to bring the right people so they could talk to you and it could give you the tools that you need to move forward in life. Dr. Terrence Johnson, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time, for believing in us, for giving us tools also that we could use for ourselves to move forward. Thank you so much for being part of our lives. It means a great lot to us. And to the viewers again, I just want to thank you so much for being part of our lives. And
Yeah.
just continue to support us. If there's anything that you want us to do on the show, if you want to be a part of the show, just reach out to us and to share your story so that it could help someone else who really need to hear your story for their journey. Joan?
Yeah. Wow. 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 I just want to tell you that I love you so much as my beautiful sister.
Love you too, Joan. Love you so much.
We we grow together. We support each other. I know our mom is not here, but she is there in spirit. And if she could see us and you as an individual who's become such an amazing and wonderful person, and I'm so proud of you as a person of
Thank
who
you.
you are and you who you have become and continue to evolve every day, which is so profound and it's so amazing. I'm so proud of you and
Thank
thank you for
you.
the kind words you share. And you've been a rock for me too as an individual because we hold each other up. We become the light. We shine bright in different spaces. So I just want to thank you. I love you. I know tomorrow
Love
is
you
your
too.
birthday, but happy birthday for you. And You're
Thank
just
you.
light. You've just blossom.
Thank you.
You shine
Thank you.
everywhere you go. You beam. So I just wish you continue success, continue blessing, and continue to shine that light and illuminate the world. You're going to continue to do amazing things. So I just want
Thank
to
you.
thank you. I love you for who you are, and God
Love you.
bless you.
Love you too.
Much
Yeah.
love to you, as I always call you, baby. Yeah.
Yes. Thank
So
you.
yeah. So thank you so much, and we thank all the people who rally around us and give us the support and help us
Yes.
to reach higher heights. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Yes.
Love you.
Yes. Yes. The support means a lot.
Yes.
Dr. Terrence, any words before you go?
Look out there. Oh Lord, so much love, so much love. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I like I said, Ken and Joan, like I said, I really appreciate y'all. Every time like I said, I've been on a lot of different platforms over the year, but I look forward every time for because I know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great conversation, and it's always great positive energy, and that's you don't always get that. You know what I'm saying? You can get a good conversation, but you might not have that positive energy. And it's like I said, I appreciate the light that both of you all have, and I'm glad that you allow me to share mine with you all.
Thank you.
I'm so appreciative of
Thank
that.
you.
And then, like I said, it seems like we've been knowing each other for a long time. It's been a couple months, but I've been knowing y'all a long time. Uh, but yeah, I just appreciate what y'all do. And I try. I don't get to watch all of them or get on, but anytime y'all on, I try and pop in for a little bit of make.
Yeah, we do see you.
So I
Yes.
try. I try and support when I can and I get time. I always try to pop in, even if I got 5 minutes. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody that's been embracing me over the year. And there's so many people I can't even thank everybody. So it's like, I
I
ain't
know. I
Yeah,
I
know.
can go down that road, but I will say for me, I have people like my business partner, Dr. Kendrick Bailey. So he's been a good support for me over this year. My sister has been a wonderful support for me this year. And our bond is growing more and more. So I talk to her every Sunday. So I talked to her yesterday, and so I really honor that bond that we've grown
right.
over this year. And I didn't know your birthday was tomorrow. Cause my dad's birthday would have been tomorrow too. So
Wow.
Wow.
that'll be an anniversary kind of 1 year for me too.
Wow.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I plan on honoring him in a way tomorrow too. So he'll be
Yes.
close
Yes.
to my heart tomorrow. And like
Yes.
my mom is. If you want to know where my spirituality and all that kind of stuff come from, it comes from her. That I get that from her. Like that and the warmth and the care for people that comes from my mom. And so,
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, she called me while I was on. I had to call her back. So I talked to her. But then, people here in Gallatin, there's so many people that have embraced me here that and it's just been a couple months, and it's just been wonderful. And it's good when you have people that's excited to see you,
True.
and
Yes.
True.
they really enjoy just your presence, not what you
Yes.
can do, what you're doing, or whatever. They just
Hmm.
see you and speak to you, make sure you're okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, so I just honor all those people too, and yeah, it's I don't know what 2023 gonna be like for everybody. I just know it's gonna be great things. I know it's gonna be great things for both of you all,
Thank
and
you.
I've learned now not to have so many expectations, but leave space for um, things to unfold as they should. And so I'm walking that myself into 2023. I can't tell you how it's gonna look, but
Mhm.
I am patiently allowing it to unfold the way it should. And
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest lesson for anybody looking to see like what I need to get ready for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Just allow it to unfold.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Those are comforting words because I think when you say just allow things to unfold, it brings you a sense of peace
Mhm.
because you're taking
Yes.
all the expectations away and you allowing yourself just to kind of move in that flow. Whatever it is, I'm letting myself sit still and be comfortable and let the universe, whatever your source might be, guide you through that process. And thank you for saying that because it gives us a level of comfort, a level of peace, because we
Hmm.
put so many expectations in ourselves. But when we can all say that I'm allowing things to unfold as it should, you take the weight off.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely right, Joan. And there's one other person I forgot is Amit Ramdat.
Oh
He's
yes,
from my
Amit. Hmm.
country, and he was one of my rock when I needed support when I was back home. He was one of my rock, and I just want to thank him also.
Yeah, Amit
Just
is
want to thank him.
amazing.
He is an amazing soul.
He's
I
like a
just
brother
want to
to
thank
us.
him.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
It's amazing.
it's an amazing life. You know,
Hmm.
whatever struggle you may be going through, just know that your life is amazing. Just know that there's greatness in you. There is a light in you that the world needs. And just allow things to unfold. Just allow things to unwrap. And you will see that beautiful light emerge within yourself that you could be that light for the world that the world needs.
I know you're
So
special.
thank Exactly. Thank you all for joining today. We love you so much. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I love each and every one of you. Just reach out to us if you need any help. Just reach out to us. We are going to be here for you. Thank you so much for being there for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Terrence, for being here for us
Dr.
too.
Terrence, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tom, thank you for being there behind the scenes and helping us. Thank you. Love you guys so
Love
much
you
and have a
all.
wonderful week.